Good morning, YouTube. Today, I'm gonna tell you exactly how much money I lost owning my Jaguar F-Type S V8 for only 1 year, and it's pretty terrible. I'm pretty distraught over this.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
All right, we got the shop dog. Moses is helping me with this because I need some emotional support. Hey, don't eat that. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Dan, and I bought that Jaguar.
You have a Jag.
It's a 2014, and I just sold it today, and I owned it for 1 year and 1 month. And the reason I bought it was originally the plan was to rent it out in Turo and try and make some money, which initially looked like maybe it was gonna work, and then everything went to shit. So I ended up losing a crap load of money, and it's pretty disappointing. Oh, and by the way, I sell this t-shirt. Yeah, I devalue cars. I do a really good job at devaluing cars. It's probably something I'm best at. Definitely not so good at making money on cars. So like I said, it was a 2014 Jaguar F-Type S V8 convertible.
Awfully sorry.
Bit of an issue
Would
with
you
the
mind
wallet.
awfully settling this while I go and warm up the Jag?
So that is totally optioned out. The sticker price on that car was over $100,000. I bought it last year for $42,000. So with taxes and all that stuff, it was like $45,000 something dollars. And I financed the entire thing because it's for the business. So the interest rate we got on it was below 3%. So basically it was almost free money. So there's no point when you're trying to start a business to use my own money when I can use the bank's money. So my monthly payment was $739.92. I ended up making 13 payments, which brings the total to $9,618.96 that I actually ended up paying for the car as far as to the bank. Insurance on the Jag was actually pretty cheap. It was just under $100. It was like $99.74 a month. Again, 13 months of insurance payments, which brings a total of $1,296.58 just in insurance. When I bought the car, it needed new tires. The tires on it were absolutely terrible. Those tires cost about $1,200. I don't have the exact number. I couldn't find that receipt. Then I also needed to do an oil change on the car about halfway through the year. That only cost about $80. It was actually a very simple oil change. The filter was cheap and the oil was, I don't know, like 30, 40 bucks. So not a big deal on that one either. But then of course, it's a Jaguar, and Jaguars do what Jaguars do best, which is brake. About halfway through the year, it ended up springing a coolant leak. And this coolant leak ended up being a persistent problem. So I was actually heading out of the country when this broke. And so I obviously couldn't fix it myself. Normally I would like to do the repairs myself, but because I was leaving out of the country and the car needed to rent in order to make money, we decided to send it to a shop. They ended up doing 4 separate tries to get the coolant leak fixed. It took them 4 tries. They finally got it fixed, and it ended up costing me about $3,500 just to fix a coolant leak, which is just ridiculous. Then we also had to put on some new brakes because the brakes on the car were shot, even though it only had about 42,000 miles at the time. Those ended up costing about $500. It wasn't too expensive. We did that ourselves. Finally, I decided to dump the Jag. I tried for a long time to sell it privately. I had it listed for quite a few months. I was hoping to get close to break even. I listed it for like $37,000. Got no interest after 2 months or so. Decided, screw this. We just need to dump the car and just trade it in. So the best trade-in I could get was $30,000. So it took a $12,000 depreciation in only 1 year. Whew. Yeah, that was rough. So it was so bad that I actually still had to bring a check when I sold the car. So I actually had to write a check for $7,410.90. So this means that in total, I spent $23,606.44 on a Jaguar F-Type S for 1 year and 1 month. Initially, that's like absolutely a terrible thing, and it makes me want to cry, but it was being rented out in Turo. So how much money did we make on Turo renting out the Jaguar for 1 year and 1 month? The total Turo revenue was $11,753. So do the math. That means my net loss was $11,853.44. That might be the single worst car purchase I've made in my entire life. Absolutely a horrible car to own for that purpose. I mean, obviously not every car blows a coolant leak and has all the other problems I had, but I'm not confident that Jaguar's reliability is very good. So I'm sure a bunch of you are saying, well, why'd you sell it for a loss? Why didn't you just hold on to it? Well, we decided to get out of the Turo business, and frankly, I had no reason to keep another car around. I mean, I've already got a Ferrari, I don't need a Jaguar. That was the primary thing. The secondary thing was I got more motivated to sell it quickly because about a week or two ago, it started developing what appeared to be a blown head gasket. All right. every time you'd start up the car after it's been sitting for a while, it would pump out a bunch of white smoke, and it looked like it was probably a blown head gasket. So coolant was disappearing. It was definitely burning off coolant. You could smell it. So I just said, screw this, let's get rid of it. So if I would have done the repair myself, it probably would have been somewhere around $1,000 in parts. But honestly, I didn't really want to work on a Jaguar. It looked like it was a pain in the butt. It was crammed in there. You had to remove the supercharger. You're gonna have to remove all the stuff to get the heads out. Massive undertaking, probably weeks of work. To have a pro do it is probably gonna cost somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000. Let's say we average out in the middle and just say it was $6,000. Well, I lost $7,500 to get rid of it now. And let's say maybe I didn't sell it immediately and held on to it for a while, and maybe it took 2-3 more months to get rid of it. Well, I would have made 2-3 more payments, which would have been about $2,500. And then honestly, my confidence that I was to sell it for $37,000 was not very high, because next week, well, 2 weeks from now, is 2020. So now it's not a 5-year-old vehicle, it's a 6-year-old vehicle, and it becomes even less desirable and devalues more. Oh, and by the way, Jaguar's coming out with the newly designed F-Type, which looks even better. So people are gonna want this car even less. I think it was gonna continue to depreciate very rapidly. It just made sense, get rid of it now. So ultimately, it made the most business sense to just kind of dump the car. It actually alleviated a lot of the risk that I was holding. And frankly, it alleviates a lot of stress. I mean, just sitting here having this depreciating asset that's not making money, that just costing me more and more money every month. It's like, just get rid of it. And it's one of those things you learn in business is when failure is imminent, don't resist it and prolong it. Accept it in your mind, learn from it, and then move on. I realized this was a failure. There was nothing I could do about it. And I could sit there and try and fight the failure, but it would have ended up making it worse and worse and worse. You know, it's like picking at a scab. It's already there. Picking at it does not help it heal any faster, so just get rid of it. So actually, this is not the end of the story though, because even though I've lost over $11,800 on the car, I'm actually gonna recover some of that because the car was used for my business. So I'm actually gonna be depreciating that car on my taxes this next year. So I don't know exactly how much of that money I'll recover, but my assumption is I'll recover a couple $1,000s. Hopefully $3,000 or $4,000 would be great. And I'm sure I'm gonna be sitting there on TurboTax for many hours trying to figure out exactly how to work it. I'm not gonna like try and scam the IRS. I'm a good doobie. I pay my taxes. I just follow the law, and the law allows you to depreciate assets like this. So I'm gonna depreciate it and do what I'm allowed to do. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's suddenly gonna become like a zero loss. It's just gonna become less of a loss. So like I mentioned, it's very important to learn from your failures, and obviously there are two big failures here. The first one is, do not rent your cars out on Turo thinking you're gonna make money. It's just not gonna happen. It's a bad idea. Also, let's be real, people are beating the crap out of the cars. That's probably why it has a blown head gasket, is I'm sure someone's thrashing the crap out of it, over revving it, something like that. The second lesson here, probably the more valuable lesson for all of us gearheads, is do not buy a Jaguar. They are crap. They devalue like crap, and they're just crappy cars. They are beautiful, they sound great, but don't be fooled, right? What is that? The siren songs of the seas or whatever, you know, those creatures that would like sing to you and you come in and all of a sudden they kill you or whatever.
The song is familiar, but at the same time, you've never heard anything like this. As you plunge into the cold, dark abyss, you finally realize that the siren song is the last you will ever hear.
That's the Jaguar. She's singing a beautiful song, she's looking all good, and you get there and all of a sudden she just cuts your dick off. Stay away from Jaguar. I'm done with Jaguar. Never again. Go to my website, normalguysupercar.com/shop. You can buy this awesome t-shirt. You too can show that you devalue cars as hard as I do. There's two versions of the shirt. One that's got the like sleeve thing and costs a little more because, well, it costs more for me. The other one's a little bit simpler. I also put a couple other new shirts out there I think you guys are gonna like, so go check out my website, go buy some t-shirts. I also have the stickers. Got some cool Normal Guy stickers, so help me out, buy some of my merch, or go visit some of my sponsors, you know, go buy some Avalon King ceramic coating. So go to bit.ly/NGSAvalon and buy some of the product. I get hooked up when you guys do that as well. We have a lot of car stuff coming your way. You guys are gonna wanna stay tuned, so like, share, and subscribe. Please do those things. It does help out my channel a lot. Please consider sharing it. I need more shares. Those get me more views, get more eyeballs on this channel, and then those people are more likely to subscribe. When you guys do that, again, thank you so much for those of you that do help me out and share these videos. We have a ton of car stuff coming your way. You guys are gonna wanna stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.